7-season playoff drought, longest in NBA history. Beginning Sunday, second-seeded Grizz host the 7th-seeded Lakers. Memphis, slight favorite to win the series at Caesars Sportsbook. All right, with me now, NBA writer Tim Bontemps and NBA champion Kendrick Perkins. Perk, you're going to tell us how these first-round series in the West are going to play out. And we'll tell Perk if he's right.
Perk's going to be confident in his opinion either way, I think. But we'll see how it goes. There's my guy.
Perk, do the Grizz end LeBron's season?
Max, you know better than that, and you didn't even feel comfortable asking me that question. When it comes down to LeBron and AD, we know that duo healthy should be favored in any series, especially this one. Now, would it be different if they had Steven Adams and Brandon Clark? Yes, it might persuade me the other way, but they don't. And the way that the Lakers attack the paint and get to the free throw line, I feel like I've been saying this, feel like a broken record, but it's the truth. They're going to impose their will. By the way, they actually land in Memphis today. So that means they have it on their mind. They getting in early. And I just don't see the Memphis Grizzlies having enough in the interior to stop LeBron and AD from having it their way in the paint.
So, Tim, you heard that perfect logic from Perk. They should be favored in any series they play unless Steven Adams is playing. That swings the whole balance of everything. Is Perk right or wrong here?
Hey, listen, I love my man Perk, as he knows, and he is right in that, to me, the key to this series is going to be, can Anthony Davis be the dominant player? Perk has been saying, I think fairly, for the past couple days, that he's been the best player in the Western Conference for the past couple months. If he's the best player in this series, I think the Lakers can win it because they do have the ability to draw fouls on Jaren Jackson Jr. The Grizzlies don't have a great offense at times. The Lakers have proven to have a good defense over the last couple of months, and they do have LeBron James and AD. That said, I think the Grizzlies are winning this series. I don't like the Lakers matchups for Ja Morant and Desmond Bane on the perimeter. I think the Grizzlies are going to be able to keep Jaren Jackson Jr. off Anthony Davis inside to keep him out of foul trouble. And I think they've got enough bodies to throw at LeBron to slow him down over the course of the series that I think they'll win. The other thing, too, that matters, you talk about LeBron and AD, those guys have played a lot of minutes, got a lot of miles on them. LeBron's here with this foot issue. Games 3 to 7 in the series go every other day. So, to me, if the Lakers are up 2-1 after 3 games, I feel pretty good about their chances. If they're down 2-1, I think it's really big advantage in Memphis' favor.
You two nerds. This is not the specific matchups about how many fouls you have to give on AD. That's not what determines the history of the NBA. Look, as long as these things are real, do the Grizz have enough depth? Yeah, they got players who can play on that team and Ja Morant, right? What do the Lakers have? They got LeBron, AD, just enough shooting and some defense. They go 7 or 8 deep. It ain't about the matchups. This is going to come down to, is LeBron still LeBron when it comes down to it? Or can Ja rise to the occasion and get these guys past it? It's no knock on Ja. I have a sneaking suspicion that LeBron is still just about as good as any player in the world, and that includes Ja, who he's probably still better than. And I think that's going to make the difference in the moment of truth. It's the Lakers. Perk, talk to me about Sacramento and the champs. Do the Kings end Steph's season?
Excuse me, Max. Absolutely, they end Steph's season. It's a reason Coach Mike Brown got Coach of the Year. It's a reason they talk about light the beam and not lighten the loud. These guys are playing exceptional basketball, especially at home. When you look at the shooting of Kevin Huerter, he's been a great addition. De'Aaron Fox, one of the best closers in the game today when it comes to closing in the fourth quarter. And can we talk about Sabonis? Mr. 18, 12, and 7 does it all. How about Malik Monk? You want to dive into the rookie Keegan Murray? You want to talk about Harrison Barnes? They have a lot, and they play well at home, and the Warriors are going to be in trouble because of their woes and because of how horrible they have looked on the road this season.
Well, I'm glad me and you, Perk, are here to talk about basketball while Max does his whole narrative thing over here. Since before he said we're just going to be the smart basketball guys. So looking at this series, to me, to me, this comes down to the way the series is going to shake out is I don't think the Kings can guard Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. I ultimately think That's why the Warriors are going to win this series in the end. Sacramento's had an amazing season for all the reasons Perk laid out. I voted for De'Aaron Fox for Clutch Player of the Year. Mike Brown voted for him for Coach of the Year. They're both going to win those awards. They've had a fantastic season. But at the end of the day, they've been incredibly healthy all year. The Warriors are healthy now. You see Gary Payton Jr. dunking the ball here. You've got Andrew Wiggins back on the court now. The Warriors are whole and ready to go in the playoffs. As Draymond Green himself talked about this week, yes, the Warriors have had issues this year. Yes, they have to clean them up. But when the Warriors are healthy and at their best, I think they are the best team in the Western Conference. I think they're going to win this series, and I think they're going to be in the NBA Finals.
I agree with you. I don't, maybe Phoenix, but I agree with that analysis. Let me just say, De'Aaron Fox is a real one. Like, I go back to the tournament, Sweet 16. He's playing Lonzo Ball, who's the big, he's got all the press behind him, all the sizzle, right? De'Aaron Fox is playing Lonzo Ball.
Highlights in this game. I love it.
De'Aaron Fox gave Lonzo 39. Lonzo's a terrific player and was back then too, but he gave Lonzo 39 and held him to like 10, 11 points on the other end. De'Aaron Fox is about it, and especially in big moments. I think they got a lot, Perk, but I'm with you, Tim. This might be the last dance for the Warriors. And by that I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Draymond, right? He, along with Steph, reinvented the modern game of basketball. I think there's so much on the line for these guys because they have Wiggins back who can guard the perimeter. They'll have enough games here to get going. I think this is going 6 or 7 games. I think in the end, Steph's team wins. The best player on either team is on the Warriors. That's going to decide it. Finally, Perk, the other LA team taking on Phoenix. Do the Clippers end KD's season?
Have you seen Kawhi Leonard lately? He looked like Kawhi of old. Kawhi Jordan Leonard is his nickname for me. And when I look at the Clippers, they have great depth. And I know that they're going to be missing Paul George. But I feel like Russell Westbrook is going to rise to the occasion. Can we talk about how great Norman Powell has looked? And let's talk about the two bigs. They don't get enough credit. The combination of Zubac and Plumlee is going to be hell for DeAndre Ayton in that paint. Both of those guys are physical, they're smart, they're athletic, and they know their roles. And let's not even dismiss the fact that they have Tyronn Lue over there coaching, one of the best in the game.
I think he's the best. Go ahead.
Perk, I love this take. If Paul George was healthy, I would be 100% with you that I would take the Clippers to win this series because to me, they're a deeper, better version of the Suns. You have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who I think are as good or better than Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and then you have a much better supporting cast around them. To me, this comes down to Paul George. I'm going to say the Suns win the series because I don't know if Paul's going to be back at all. But if Paul George can come back at some point in this series and he can give the Clippers some minutes, I think they're more than good enough to beat this Suns team for all the reasons we've talked about. I have questions about the Suns' defense. I have questions about the Suns' depth. And I have questions, frankly, about the Suns' ability to stay healthy over the course of these playoffs. But as it stands right now with no Paul George, I got to go with the Suns winning the series.
I'm with Tim again. If the Clippers were at full strength, that's a lot because it's two-way attack dogs right at the top of your lineup there. That's a lot, but there's one. They're down a guy. And let me just say this about KD. First player in history to hit you with the slash lines 55, 40, 90. Not 50,
insane.
40, 90. 55, 40, 90. And by the way, he's 7 feet.
He played 18 games.
Oh, okay. But he's 7 feet.
Games.
You know what? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because he's 7 feet doing 55, 40, 90 with elite defense again. Okay? Let's talk about how many games he played. Let's talk about how many losses he's had in those games he played. Across 2 conferences, on 2 totally different teams with 2 different supporting casts, no time to get acclimated to his new teammates, injuries, the whole thing. My man is 25 of 27, not from the floor. In terms of wins and losses, he has won 25 of the last 27 games he's played in. KD is so much better than the second best player in the game. No, I know he's not the best player in the game because Giannis stays healthy. When KD is healthy, no one is close to him right now. Let's just say what it is. Look, break down the components of the game. KD is towering over everyone. Break down how they match up when he plays another player, when they're both crewed up or when he's missing guys, he gets better results. And then just look at the numbers in terms of wins and losses. How do you argue against KD right now? Perk?
Max, let me say this. I believe Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer to ever touch the basketball.
Now
okay?
you're overboard.
But again, this is a team sport. Team.
His
okay,
team
and I know
won
how great
25
KD,
of 27, two different teams.
And I understand that, Max, and I understand how great KD is. I'm not taking nothing from that. All I'm saying is, if you look at this matchup, the Clippers have have great depth at what position? The wing position. So when I look at guys like Kawhi, okay, and I look at a guy like Nicholas Batum, who's out there, who's to me is like a poor man Shane Battier. When you have that type of depth, Terrence Mann and guys to that nature that you can just shoot out there at KD, no, they're not going to stop him, but they actually could weigh on him in the 7-game series.
Yeah, you can't do better in terms of the matchup. I agree. In terms of the level at which they can play defense, the length, and the number of guys they can throw at him, I'm with you, Perk. It just doesn't matter. I mean, KD's not the good. Michael Jordan's easily the greatest scorer of all time, but that's why he has 10 scoring titles. KD has what, a couple? But that's fine. But KD in this game right now,
I'm with Perk.
About what?
I think Kevin Durant's the greatest scorer of all time.
That's an absurd proposition when
Thank
Jordan
you, Tim.
averaged more points.
Thank you.
We're here
better
to
than his
teach Max about
contemporaries by a
basketball,
wider margin. How could you possibly defend? But the point is this. His position in the sport now is similar to MJ and LeBron once upon a time in that there's no real competition for the spot. Guys, just be honest, man. The dude is so much better than everybody else right now.